Welcome back everyone to another new episode. I've created some more new awesome teams and some of them I'll be playing with in this episode. Now, I did not randomly make these teams with random Pokemon. One of the purposes of this series is to show you guys what great teams look like. So it takes me a lot of thought and testing to make these great teams and give you guys the best quality videos I can provide. Just to prove to you guys how hard I've been working on to make these awesome teams, I've been laddering a lot, testing them out on different alts. As you can see, this account, Affliction, 1422 rating. Then I have Asphyxiation, 1401. Then I have my own main account, 1409. Then I have Kill Turnal, 1402. Latiai, 1406. And Rocks, where I went the extra mile on this one and achieved the rating of 1563. So yeah, I stopped at 1400 on most of these accounts because I wanted to test out the many different teams I have. I have a lot of teams. And if you can make it to 1400 with your team, then your team is pretty solid in my opinion. So yeah, I've been working hard to not only show off some great teams and ideas, but also to gain more experience in the current metagame so that I sound much more knowledgeable. And it's viewers like you guys that drive me, so I really want to thank you guys for watching my videos. Anyways, enough of the rambling, let's get the show on the road. Okay, so the first team I'll be using is this rain team with Golurk. In my opinion, Golurk is a very underrated Pokemon, and I had to try it out in OU, and it's been quite successful. So let's see how I do. Okay, up against this guy, his team is Keldeo, Alakazam, Breloom, Kirambi, Landorus Therian, and Magneton. Okay, it's a pretty threatening team. Breloom can be annoying. Magneton, okay. Usually players use Magnezone, but the reason you want to use Magneton is because Magneton is faster than Magnezone. I could lead off with my Politoed. If he's thinking of leading off with his Keldeo, then I could just switch to Tentacruel, but what I'm afraid of is Breloom lead. So, I'm just gonna lead off with Toxicroak because it fares off well against both Breloom and Keldeo. So, mm, nah, because I don't really want my Toxicroak to be induced by Spore. Don't want him sleeping, so I'm just gonna lead off with Politoed just to get the rating up. And this Politoed is a Choice Scarf Politoed, so it will definitely outspeed his Breloom. Now, most likely his Breloom is Focus Sash Breloom, because most lead Brelooms tend to be sashed. So I could go for the Ice Beam and get induced by Spore, or maybe even KO'd by Breloom, but I don't really have a safe switch out, so I have to stay in, and I'll use Ice Beam. And it is a Focus Sash Breloom. It's gonna live and Spore me, okay. And now I'm gonna have to switch out to Toxicroak or Tentacruel. Toxicroak isn't that bulky compared to Breloom, but compared to Tentacruel, but Tentacruel is not faster than the max speed Jolly Breloom, so I'm gonna go to Toxicroak just to be safe on this. It uses Bullet Seed, hits me 4 times, unfortunately. Um, I do have two good Keldeo checks, Toxicroak and Tentacruel. My Tentacruel has Toxic, so I'm not too worried about Keldeo. I'll just go for the Drain Punch because he might be thinking of switching out here. His best switch out is his Landorus Therian. So in that case, I'm just going to use Ice Beam. He doesn't switch out, he stays in. Okay. At least I've taken out the biggest threat, which is Breloom. The second biggest threat is probably Alakazam because it can basically hit anything hard, and my Jirachi is my best bet against it. What I'm afraid of is Kyurem the mix set. Um, I don't really have a safe switch out to that other than Ferrothorn, and it does have Gyro Ball, so I'm going to switch out to that. It uses Earth Power, so it is the mixed Kyurem set. And he's probably going to go to his Magneton here. I'll just use Leech Seed because Magneton, when seeded, isn't going to be doing too much damage on Ferrothorn. So just to test it out, let's see. Spikes. Let's see, does he go for the Hidden Power Fire, or does he switch out? He does go for the Specs Hidden Power Fire. It does do quite a lot of damage, 52%, but can go for one more Spikes here, or go for an attack. Spikes is going to be really helpful, so I'm just going to go for Spikes. There's no reason to attack Magneton because it's not going to do much. I'll just switch out to my Golurk after this and set up. Or I could go to, but Toxicroak won't live a Hidden Power Fire. So I'm going to go to my Golurk here. Or what I could do is go to my Jirachi and use Stealth Rock. Let's see, if I do go to Golurk, then he's probably going to switch out to like Landorus Therian. Yeah, let's make him do that. I'm going to use Substitute here. And this will force him to switch out to his Landorus Therian. Now, I already know that his Magneton is Specs because it did 52 to 56% damage. Only a Spec Magneton or Magnezone is able to do that much damage in the rain. Now, I'll use Focus Punch because I have Iron Fist. And Earthquake also does 150 with Stab, but Iron Fist, Focus Punch is going to do a bit more. So I'm going to go with the Focus Punch. As it does 72%. And now I'm just going to go to my Toxicroak because he's going to want to surf. I'll just get the recovery there. And now I'll switch out to my Tentacruel because I don't want to weaken my Toxicroak. So that was a great way for me to recover my Toxicroak there. And I'll just use... He's most likely going to want to switch, so Scald. Yep. And luckily I get the burn. That's going to help out. I'll use Protect just to scout it. Earth Power, okay. I'll go to my Politoed. Yeah, because Politoed is already sleeping, so it's not going to do much. Best thing to do right now is just to use it as a shield. He's going to want to switch out here. And he's going to want to switch out to something like Alakazam or Landorus Therian. But I don't really have a safe switch out to Earth Power at this point, so I'm just going to use Ice Beam, even though I'll be sleeping. Okay, he uses Earth Power, he decides to stay in, and I am faster than him, so if I can wake up, I can take down his Kyurem B, but I don't want to get stuck on Ice Beam. If I do wake up, I'll use Hydro Pump instead. Oh, it seems like it's oh no, Salic Berry Kyurem Black. Okay, that's new, first time I've seen a Salic Berry Kyurem Black. Its speed has now rose. So what I could do is just go to Tentacruel and use Protect. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Cause I also have Sucker Punch Toxicroak, but I don't want him to send in his Alakazam freely on Toxicroak. Which he could also do with Tentacruel, but Toxicroak is gonna take damage from the Life Orb. Better to not deal any damage to it at this point. Now he's most likely want to switch out to Landorus Therian or Magneton. If his Landorus Therian is a Swords Dancing Landorus Therian, it could be a problem if I let it set up. Now, I'm just going to use Protect here because I know that Magneton is choiced. So now that I scouted it has Volt Switch, I can freely go into my Golurk and use Substitute because it's a ground type. It resists electric. Golurk is just an excellent Pokemon in the OU metagame. It's a ghost type, it's ground, it resists, it can act as a rapid spin blocker. It's a great Terrakion counter because close combat and Stone Edge are not going to do anything to it. Now I'm just going to use Focus Punch, dead, Keldio's gone, And he's gonna want to switch out to something like, I don't know, Alakazam or Landorus Therian. Probably, that could be either actually. Depends on what kind of sets he's using. So let's see. He goes with Alakazam. Alright. My Landorus is the only Pokemon to take sus. Oh, let me just ignore spectators because you guys want me to. Because it could get annoying if there is a spam or discussion going on while I'm recording. Anyways, my best one to take Psyshock is Jirachi. He's not gonna go for Focus Blast. I'm pretty sure about that. So I'm gonna go to my Jirachi. Uses Shadow Ball. Okay, that's fine. I'm not gonna use Thunder because his Landorus Therian resist, and his Alakazam is most likely holding a Sash. But he does have Magnezone. I don't want to get stuck on that. At this HP, do I live? My Jirachi is a Shuka Berry Jirachi, so I might be able to live Earthquake from Landorus Therian. Um, yeah, I'm gonna just go for the Thunder because I might be able to live the Earthquake if he switches to Landorus Therian here. And he might not also go to Landorus Therian because he hasn't scouted what kind of set my Jirachi is, but he does go to it. Alright, Hidden Power Ice then, hoping that I live the Earthquake. Yep, I lived the Earthquake, 66%. Great. Now he's gonna go to his Magneton to finish off my Jirachi, most likely. But his Magneton is Choice Spec, so my Jirachi is gonna be able to outspeed it. And if his Magneton, no, he's gonna go to Alakazam because if he goes to Magneton to use the Ice Electric move, it's only letting my Golurk set up. So he has to go to Alakazam here to finish off my Jirachi. And then I could go on to no, he goes to Magneton. Okay, let's see what he does. Um, in this case, I'll just use. Well, let's say he goes with Flash Cannon instead. If he does go with Flash Cannon, then I could go to my Tentacruel and finish it off. Make him send in his Alakazam. So, yeah, I'm just gonna take out his. No, I'm just gonna use Thunder on it to paralyze it if I can. Or knock it out, because Magneton isn't as bulky as Magnezone. Let's see what his Alakazam does. It's a huge threat at this point. Only Golurk can take a hit, I believe. Okay, uses Charge Beam. I'm gonna disallow it to gain some power. Send in my Golurk and use Earthquake. If he did got that boost, his Shadow Ball would probably have taken out my Golurk. Alright, and Focus Sash. And now I can send in my Toxicroak. And the thing is, my bulky Tentacruel, which is physically defensive, can also live a Psyshock. So that's great. I'm just going to use Sucker Punch here to finish things off. And great game. Thanks. Now let's test out another, let's try out another team, because I've already tested out all these teams and they're great. So the next team I'll use, let's see. Let's go with this team, another rain team. In this rain team, I'm using Feraligatr. Feraligatr is a beast. It's very underrated in my opinion. So let's see how it performs. Okay, up against Polo 1. His team is Breloom, Gyarados, Gliscor, Scizor, Jellicent, and Magnezone. Alright. Let me just check my sets. My Politoed is also a very special kind of Politoed. It's a Mystic Water Politoed. I bet you guys have never seen that before. Anyway, it's my own idea where I basically bluffed a choice item with Mystic Water, and Hydro Pump Mystic Water does a lot. There's actually no reason to have choice specs when Hydro Pump with just Mystic Water alone does a lot of damage, and I can switch out. I can switch my moves out. I can use Ice Beam and Toxic along with the process, and even Scald if I need to, because sometimes Hydro Pump misses. Okay, Tentacruel, Standard Tentacruel, Ferrothorn, Feraligatr, Mystic Water, because in water, again, water power is boosted. And I'm using my special Metal Coat Scizor, which also bluffs a choice item with U-turn. And my Landorus is my Choice Scarf, main Revenge Killer, but it's also holding Stealth Rock, so it's another bluff. This team is full of bluffs. It's so since if Landorus Therian uses Stealth Rock, most players get the impression that it's not choiced. So let's see. He's thinking of possibly leading off with Breloom. In that case, I can set in my fast Politoed and Ice Beam it, in which he probably will use Spore or go for the attack. Most likely Spore. So let's see. And he's probably also sashed, because sashed lead Brelooms are very common. So Ice Beam it. Okay, Ice Beam did 97%. That's fine. He went for Bullet Seed instead. Okay, in that case, I'll now send in my Landorus Therian. Now I already have permanent water up, rain up, so it doesn't really matter that I lost my Politoed. At least I've taken out his Breloom. Okay, and now I'll go to, let's see, he has Magnezone, so I don't want to go to Ferrothorn just yet, or Scizor, but I do have Superpower, but uh, I'm not Life Orbed, so Magnezone might live the Superpower, if I do want to go for that. Tentacruel, he's probably gonna send in Gyarados to set up, if it's a sub Dragon Dance Moxie Gyarados. Okay, Tentacruel then. Mm, okay, so he does send in his Gyarados, and it's probably gonna use Substitute. Um, I'm gonna scout it. Yeah, it does use Substitute. Power Whip, and it's a Moxie Gyarados because it doesn't have Intimidate. Use Power Whip again. Alright, he's gonna use Bounce. Just use Power Whip. Oh no, it's a critical hit. That's gonna be very fatal. Because now I'm pretty weak to Gyarados. It's gonna use Waterfall probably here. And I can't let it set up. I can't go for a Spikes if he's thinking of going with the Waterfall. So I have to go with Power Whip. He goes with Bounce. Dang, I could have 2 HQ'd his Gyarados. But critical hit. It's too unfortunate for me. Gonna have to go to my Landorus Therian and use Stone Edge, but now he has the opportunity of just switching out to his Gliscor and walling it. Or Jellicent. Oh well, send in my Tentacruel and just use Toxic here. He's probably gonna use Will-O-Wisp again. I'm just gonna use Scald. Yes, got your back. Burned you, because his Jellicent couldn't have done much. So he wanted to switch out to get that opportunity to possibly set up or just take the initiative. And that backfired him. So in that case, I'll just finish it off with Scald. He decides to bounce. Now I'm still taunted, so I can't protect. In that case, kill it with Rapid Spin. Alright, doesn't matter. I could just use Protect since Rapid Spin didn't kill. He's gonna want to stay in. He doesn't want to take any chances, and he's gonna lose his Gyarados. I haven't really lost anything from the Will-O-Wisp damage because I have Rain Dish and Black Sludge. Okay, here I could switch out to Landorus if he's gonna go with he's not gonna risk using Flash Cannon because my Feraligatr can set up if my Landorus dies. So I'm just gonna switch out to my Landorus here. Yeah, so he does go with Thunderbolt. And now he's gonna want to switch out. I'm gonna U-turn it. He's gonna want to switch out to his Jellicent or Gliscor, but since Gliscor evades Earthquake, he's most likely gonna go to Gliscor. Now send in my Feraligatr. What I could do is I could go for the Swords Dance sweep here, but I could just go for the Waterfall and kill his Gliscor in the process, but I'm gonna go for Swords Dance because I don't really mind getting toxic because I have Aqua Jet. Even if I'm outsped, Aqua Jet will knock out his Gliscor. Now I can just go for the. Now I'm gonna go for another Swords Dance because his Jellicent right now is still a problem. And I'll go for the Aqua Jet, finish off his Gliscor, and it looks like a clear sweep. There's nothing he can do right now. As I said, Feraligatr is a beast. I'm using Earthquake instead of Crunch, or okay, his Jellicent is physically bulky, lived a +3 Earthquake. Doesn't matter though, because I'll still beat it with Earthquake, and I still have enough HP to finish things off with Aqua Jet. Scizor and Magnezone are not gonna live, even though they're pretty bulky as well. Watch, I'll show you. Aqua Jet, dead. There's no way it can live. And now my Torrent has boosted Feraligatr. There's like zero chance of anything living right now. Finish that off, and that's game for Alligator Sweep. Great game. My rating 1335, okay.